Hey, Pisces, Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your November 2025 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the month ahead has in store for you, Pisces. Now, I am hearing this song. I believe the artist is Creed. Can You Take Me Higher? Which is interesting because your ninth house of travel, higher learning, and spiritual growth is activated. And here we have the Gypsy soul showing up. So this month opens a gateway of exploration and expansion, not just in your outer world, but within your soul, Pisces. And Scorpio's influence deepens your curiosity, pulling you toward experiences that transform your understanding of truth, faith, and even freedom. You have the sun showing up, beautiful energy. Now, I'm also hearing the name Kenzie or Mackenzie. That could be your name. It could be someone in your soul tribe, or maybe even someone coming into your circle later on in the month or in the year. I see travel here for a lot of you because travel also sits in that ninth house. Some of you could be physically or even spiritually going on a journey that is going to broaden your horizons. Think of November as your vision quest month, if you will. I see spiritual awakenings happening here, especially when it comes to family and trusting in your own authenticity, having complete autonomy over an area of your life. It feels like you are reclaiming your power through seeking maybe a deeper meaning. Many of you may even be studying mystical teachings here, or you may be guided to work with a mentor, a healer, a coach, maybe even a shaman, because Vision Quest is coming in for you. You may be diving into like singing bowls or soul retrieval, maybe even listening to drums, like drumming here, maybe working with power animals or totems. It feels like there are rituals that you are partaking in or participating in that help connect you with that deeper meaning. And because education and learning is also highlighted in your ninth house, some of you may even be pursuing courses, certifications, or topics that expand your worldview, Pisces. So I see that wanderlust is calling you and you are ready to let that gypsy soul come out and play. I love that for you. Now, wanderlust is a key theme, which flows beautifully into that ninth house energy. And you're being guided to release limiting beliefs and embrace wisdom that's been gained through experience. Because you have the devil showing up in your reading, you also have the sun. So it almost feels like there's been a limitation. And Spirit is saying that you have gained the wisdom where you don't have to let the devil get in the way of your happiness. And that's why wanderlust is here, because you may be exploring things from a new perspective, right? A new perspective shift where you are releasing and embracing here new concepts, new ideas, new lands, new opportunities. It feels like you have new adventures to explore. You have new people to meet. You're feeling better within your vitality this month if you have struggled with health. And we'll talk about health in a moment here. We'll dive into all areas of your life. But I really see for you, Pisces, that tourism, real estate, travel, maybe even connecting with community could all be central to your purpose at this time. And it feels like you're planning for maybe even a physical vacation, as I've mentioned. You could be buying tickets or getting some last minute plans in order, or perhaps you just returned from travel and you feel more refreshed. Now, you have family coming through here. This is about ancestral healing. This may be tied to that shamanism that I was picking up on, that vision quest energy. And Spirit is saying when you trust the unknown, life is revealing its deeper meaning. And Scorpio's energy is deep. And this month, you are tapping into that fellow water sign energy, and you could even be going deeper into your own ancestral wisdom. I'm getting womb healing for many of you. If your sacral chakra, which is 2 inches below your belly button, that is our seed of relationships and creativity and pleasure. I feel like many of you are working on activating that sacral energy and healing family dynamics that have been passed down maybe through generation to generation here. But I also see that many of you are experimenting with some of the positive traits that have also come from your bloodline. For example, some of you may have a grandmother or a mother who is very psychic, very intuitive, and this could be something that you are either aware of, perhaps you're not aware of, but I see that you have been breaking some generational patterns here and you are creating a ripple effect. It feels like you have been healing. So the people that come after you don't have to sit in this same energy here that those before you have. I hope that makes sense. So you may also work with family in your professional world. You may work with children. You may work with people of all ages. And for some of you, I'm getting like doula or even end of life or midwife, because you can see that there's the baby feet. So family is central, maybe even psychology or family counseling. A lot of you are light workers, perhaps healers, but you may also be expanding your reach and trying something new that you've never tried before. And this could ripple out. You could create legacy, and this could take you not only well into retirement, but it could be something that helps and benefits your own family as well. So I like this coming through for you. Now we have conflict here. But if you look at the words in this card, yes, there's a bit of a tug of war, but this more reminds me of the Five of Wands energy versus the Five of Swords. So this is more about adversity or other people that can kind of threaten to bring down your plans or kind of rain on your parade type of energy. That's that sun and that devil. But I have a feeling, Pisces, you are trusting, right? You're trusting that the deeper meaning is unfolding. And by late November, when Sagittarius season begins, your 10th house of career and purpose really takes off. And you may find that you're more in the spotlight in those areas, but the new energy that November is ushering in kind of helps anchor in that wisdom, allowing for tangible results and more visible success to show up if there has been a conflict here in any area of your life, especially with family or within a move, within stability. I also feel some of you may have had issues with either a neighbor or a rental property or like a real estate transaction. If there's been a bit of a tug of war in those areas, it feels like this is the month where you understand maybe a bit deeper on a deeper level, and you get to release through a perspective shift. It's like you're seeing things from a new set of eyes. And I also am getting here the name Edward. Okay, the name Edward. This could be a family member. Perhaps it's your name. It could even be someone's middle name. Edward is coming through. And I'm seeing a hammer and a nail. Maybe someone works in construction, or this could be symbolic for like putting in the work. It feels like your work will pay off. Your hard work will pay off. And you may even be having some like maintenance or construction done to either your property, or you could be in the mix of reconstructing maybe your business or your career. And it feels like there's a lot more happiness that you are choosing to grow, to build, to lean into, instead of letting that pesky devil come in and sabotage your plans. And we'll talk about the devil here in just a moment. But we have authenticity at the bottom of the deck. This is about your unique vision, Pisces. And because your ninth house of philosophy is also highlighted, and again, higher learning, you've learned a lot about yourself. You've learned a lot about conflict, actually, because you've dealt with adversity. And some of you, this is bigotry. This could be racism. This could be, feeling ostracized or even pushed out of family due to beliefs, due to your, values. But you've learned to not compromise your integrity. And you learn that, love is love. Even if there are differences, you don't have to let that interfere or get in the way of growing something quite profound. And if someone isn't on the same wavelength as you, you have learned the hard way that closing that door, or maybe not even closing the door, but standing in your truth or protecting your peace through boundaries may have been very difficult, but very necessary. And for many of you, authenticity is about you feeling comfortable in your own skin. This is about you being genuine. You are an honest person, Pisces. You are ethical. You are genuine. And I feel like you are living and leading from that inner truth. Like I said, this month is not just the outer world energy, although we see it here with Gypsy Soul, but this is also about, transforming your understanding of who you are, your faith, your beliefs, your integrity, but also the layers and the masks that we tend to wear. So it feels like identity here. That's the word. Identity is transforming in some way, where you are no longer confined by perhaps the old roles or the old versions of yourself. So for example, maybe you have a child that is going off to college or leaving the nest, leaving the home. And for the last 18 years, perhaps you have played that role of caregiver, in a very prominent way. But now it's not that you're no longer a parent, but that role is shifting. The responsibilities of that role are shifting. And that's what it feels like is happening here for you. Some sort of role that you have played. Maybe it's the role of caregiver. Maybe it's the role of spouse or partner. Maybe it's the role of entrepreneur or business owner. It feels like there's a role or an identity that is kind of shifting here for you, and you're meant to expand in some way. And that's why your ninth house of expansion is highlighted here. And I feel like that aligns with your inner truth. All right. Now you have Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck, which is interesting because earlier I mentioned it feels more like the Five of Wands versus the Five of Swords. But for some of you, maybe you were in a Five of Swords energy, where now looking at the devil can be connected to maybe that Five of Wands, someone that's taken advantage of your kindness, someone that's taken advantage of your support or that beautiful heart of yours when you were just trying to see the good, because that's the type of person that you are. You try to see the good in people, but you also have these boundaries where it's hard to let people in. And when you do, you love fiercely. And the devil tells me that there's been some sort of deceit. There's been some sort of perhaps bullying or a battle of the ego or even an argument or an unfair disadvantage here that you felt bonded to, that you felt tethered to. This could even be, a very deep karmic lesson with family, right? Ancestral healing that goes back generations. And it has contributed to the lack of joy that you have been wanting in your life. And I see that you're moving on from it. That's what the Six of Swords is all about, right? Departure, closure, goodbyes, because you are on the path here of trust, hope, and healing. Because again, you're on a vision quest. It's like a new journey ahead. And the road that you were on, it felt very difficult, right? You were very conflicted. But this month, as you ascend, as you start to expand and wake up to your truth, to learn about maybe the roles that you have played and also the roles that other people have played out in your life. Perhaps you understand now why, how powerful, I should say, the role that maybe your mother or father took on by treating you or behaving in a certain way was for evolution of both of you. Think of how powerful it must be for someone to choose to come in to this lifetime and maybe abuse or let their shadow side really come to the forefront. And that is a heavy mission, right? It's a heavy mission. And when we start to see things from more of that spiritual point of view, it puts things into a new perspective. Instead of blaming, instead of shaming, we tend to sit more in that forgiveness and compassion. And I remember early on, because I grew up where I had to parent my mother very early on in life. And there was a lot of domestic violence, a lot of abuse, a lot of moving. That gypsy soul was activated within me, where I was in 3 different schools in 1 year, and I never knew, what was going to happen, or, who was going to enter into the home, who was going to yell, fight, scream, or where I'd end up the next day, what couch or what car. It was constantly disruption. And for many of you may have gone through a similar situation, either growing up or in a family dynamic where you've had to be responsible, or you've had to grow up way too quickly, or you've had to take on the role of caregiving for someone that, maybe didn't have their stuff together. And you've had to learn how to reparent yourself. And what I see here is you are working on releasing shame and seeing the roles that those individuals have played out. And very early on in my adult life, fortunately, I was able to forgive my mother for what she did not know. And that is a heavy energy to carry when we feel like we're stuck in that blame or that shame or anger, resentments that can reside in the body, creating dis-ease. And Pisces, it feels like you have released and let go from a lot of what that devil was for you. Now, this can even form into addiction. Some of you may have suffered with addictions of your own, or you may have witnessed addictions in others, mental health issues. This can be, I'm getting prescription drugs even. Some of you may have been caught up in that, or you have witnessed someone deteriorating because of some sort of substance abuse or drugs. But with this devil energy, this is liberation here with that Six of Swords, and you're coming into your own power. You're coming into your truth, a higher understanding of life's lessons here. So moving into the tarot, we have the King of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Sun. I mean, how beautiful is that? It hasn't been easy, though. You have the Wheel of Fortune, which is a repeating of patterns. You may have felt like you were playing out the same type of scenario or the same pattern, like the same type of relationships, or doing the same thing over and over, in your job, or it felt like maybe chronic health issues or symptoms kept coming up. But you've learned, you have matured, and you're reaching this pinnacle piece in your life where you are someone who is really supportive and emotionally intelligent. Do you know that about yourself, Pisces? You are emotionally intelligent, and that is what you are wanting to attract as well. And it's taken a bit of time for you to get in touch with your own emotions. I know it has for me because I had put other people's needs at times as a caregiver, having to grow up so quickly. I forgot that I can get in touch with my own emotions as well. And so you've had to maybe reparent or relearn the art of feeling because maybe you were told that you were too much, or you shouldn't cry, or you've had to hold it together, or you've had to take care of others where you've had to be the rock. And I see that you're starting to weave these dreams of yours. You're starting to really allow yourself to build emotional bonds and to trust. That is such a key piece here. Spirit is saying trust because that had been severed due to the devil. Whether the devil is an ex, the devil could be an addiction. I mean, you name it. The devil is out here on the board. So you're going to know what this is for you. Something that you may have even repressed. Some of you, this is a family secret, right? A family secret or something very difficult or challenging. But the Ace of Cups tells me there is a soul quenching renewal that is bringing in emotional fulfillment and curiosity and positivity and hope. So it could be a new love connection. It could be self-love. Right? It looks like a lot of self-love here is moving into the mix. And you have the sun showing up, which is beautiful because the sun is reminding you that there are great times ahead. Get out in the sunshine. If you're traveling, if you are visiting a place that's sunny, this is your feeling of home. I'm getting like home is where the heart is. And for many of you, your home is near maybe the water or near the sunshine here. I mean, it could even be that you're spending time with family, right? Family is your home and it lights you up. When the sun shows up, this is confidence, it's playfulness, it's warmth, it's abundance, and you are leaning into what makes you happy. And it tells me that you are releasing the ego because the devil can also be the ego. And that's powerful here, especially next to the Queen of Cups. Okay, so some of you, this has to do with either the divine feminine and masculine within yourself. It may have to do with a father or mother, and it may even have to do with a relationship that you are currently in, or perhaps one that has been unhealthy or toxic or difficult. It may be romantic. It looks like it's been based in a lot of love, but also based in a lot of conditioned love. And that's not where we want to be, especially when we're in a relationship. But I see that some of you are connecting with an individual who is your lifelong companion, or they are meant to be in your life to teach you some very powerful lessons. But when that devil comes through here, it feels like there's a mirror, and Spirit said the archetype, which is the mirror. So mirrored energy can sometimes be twin flame, but it can also be karmic because we have that wheel of fortune here. You may have even thought this individual was a twin flame, but it could be a false twin flame here. Someone who was karmic in nature here to teach you. All right. Now let's look at health. Okay. Let's look at energetic health that could show up in the physical body, creating, dis-ease, also known as disease. If you do have something serious going on, please do seek medical professional guidance. Now, because we have three major arcanas, we're going to start off with the sun. The sun can be issues with skin, okay? Think of like sunburn even. So be mindful if you are spending a lot of time outside. This can be sunburn, even like sunstroke. So just be mindful of that. I'm also getting vitamin D deficiencies. So some of you may benefit from, getting on a vitamin D supplement if that is something that's been approved by, a provider here. But this can also be the heart, right? Heart energy, heart disease, depression even. That devil can be depressive energy with that sun. And I'm also getting here eyes. Some of you, you've had eyesight problems, or you've had a struggle with the eyes, maybe even LASIK. That could be coming up, or this could even be a month to go get that prescription renewed if you are struggling with any of those areas. And you may have even had, this is an interesting message, a mole or something on the skin checked out. So if you have a weird looking mole or any rash within the body, don't wait on that, okay? Don't wait, because I feel like it is something that is meant to get noticed, okay? That's why it's coming up here. It's why Spirit is bringing it up. So yeah, it feels like skin or skin rash also is here. Now, Wheel of Fortune. When the Wheel of Fortune comes in, this energy can govern the liver and its functions. It doesn't surprise me with the devil, because the devil can be, as I've mentioned, addiction. So it can be toxic buildup in the liver that can cause skin eruptions. And I just mentioned that here. So low vitality here, maybe allergies, even sinus pressure that contributes to poor eyesight, or like stars in the eyes, or just feelings of like red eyes even. Now, of course, if your eyes are yellow, it could represent jaundice. So of course, make sure that you are getting these things checked out if something really stands out for you in this portion of the reading. Now, devil energy here. Whew. The devil connects to old age even. It can be arthritis, aging skin, chronic conditions, right? Think of like Hashimoto's or lupus, or any sort of chronic or autoimmune. For some of you, this may be like a sneaky little devil. I'm getting EBV. EBV virus can contribute to a lot of autoimmune. So if you are suffering, look into the EBV virus, dive into the teachings of maybe even medical medium, and get to the root of the problem. That is what this educational piece is for you in your 9th house. Now, this could also be a good teeth cleaning month where you go to the dentist. Some of you may be looking at supplements to help you with your bones, your joints, your knees. You may have even had knee surgery here. And I see that if you have had some form of surgery here, it does look like there's a full-on recovery. You will recover here, even if it feels like there's been a little bit of tension, but it does look like there is a good outlook with that sun. Okay, there will be better times ahead. You will be grateful if you get some sort of maybe some sort of surgery done, or if you were working with a nutritionist, a naturopath, a healer, a shaman. It feels like there's good results at the end of this. Okay. All right, let's look into career, finances, money. We have the gears showing up, Pisces. This is about money flowing. And remember what I said about, Sagittarian season, bringing in your 10th house of career and purpose. So towards the end of the month, your career really starts to amp up. This could be putting those plans of yours into motion. And because travel is here, it could even be at that time where you take a little bit of time off. And that means you're disconnecting. Some of you can work from anywhere in the world, and you may even check your email and things of that nature, but make sure that you are focusing on staying present. If you are traveling with family, or if you are traveling with, companions, be present in the moment. I feel like you are a good team player. I feel like you have this sense of security, and you're going to start to see that things are flowing forward after a period of maybe feeling like things have been backtracking, or if there has been a jarred energy, they're showing me the grinding of the gears, like coming to a complete halt or a stop. I mean, this can be due to like governmental energy, shutdowns, things of that nature. It does look like things are going to start moving forward here, especially towards the end of the month into December. Now we have the underworld connected as well to that devil. Now you may be finding unconventional ways to explore new income sources. So this can be sex, death, hidden knowledge, probing into the mysteries of life. So that sits right there in that ninth house of, philosophy and spiritual growth as well as higher learning. So some of you are experimenting and asking, what can I do that can help generate income? As the world evolves, so can your means of earning money. And that can feel scary. And sometimes the devil can attach itself to the fears, right? We have fears about, can we really make money doing that? Or, can we build this business online? Can we do things in an unconventional way? Can I really make money as a healer or as a tarot reader? And the answer here for you, Pisces, is yes, whatever this may be. Maybe you want to travel the world and create a YouTube channel of all of the places that you are exploring, right? With wanderlust. Maybe some of you are wanting to learn about real estate and you're going for your real estate license, or you want to work with a broker. Maybe you want to Airbnb out your property. Don't be afraid to explore because there are new ways, right? Airbnb wasn't even a thing really 10 years ago, was it? So, YouTube, tarot readers, was that even a thing 10 years ago? So as the world evolves, so can your means of earning money. Now, cutlery. This is about you having the tools and living well. You could be the sole provider here, or you may be wanting to incorporate and add passive income to your finances, because you can see that the butter knife is there, the fork is there. That's great. We can use those tools to eat most things, right? But if you have soup, it's hard to eat soup with a fork or a knife. And what's missing is the spoon. So it feels like there is another piece that you are meant to explore. There's another tool that can help you get to where you are meant to be, so you can fully embrace that 5-course meal, right? Symbolically, you can fully enjoy the meal ahead. So I like cutlery. You may even work in the kitchen. Perhaps you work with health, wellness, nutrition. I'm getting chef in like a school. So maybe you work in the kitchen at a school for some of you, or health is very important. You may even be, maybe you're packing a lunch as you're listening to this, or you could be meal prepping this month, or really taking a look at food in a different way, because goodness, I know here in the US, our food system really could use a big improvement. So maybe that's something that's been on your heart, been on your mind, and you're trying to eat better. You're trying to, get your family on board as well, eating better. And you could even be selling like Pampered Chef, or working with, again, nutrition in some way. All right, let's look at relationships. That's where that devil comes in for a lot of you. Yeah, King and Queen of Cups showing up. There is something new. I will say that. There's something new bubbling up, but it may require you to walk away or say goodbye or move on from, a connection that you've outgrown. There is separation here for some of you. Maybe even a bit of sadness, bitterness. This could be uncertainty about your future. You may even miss how things used to be, or you may miss someone, and that's okay. It's okay to have those emotions come up. So often we feel like we shouldn't be thinking about someone. We shouldn't miss them. You can honor yourself and the journey that you had with them without bringing them back into your life. If they're not meant to be in your life, of course, but if they are, perhaps you're both connecting and working with that devil that sits between the both of you, and you are creating space for love to blossom, because you see that there's a whole lot of cactus on this card. Cactus are pointy. They poke. They're not fun, right? You don't want to rub up against a cactus. But the beautiful thing is they're all blossoming. They all have these beautiful flowers. And I don't know about you guys, I have 35 houseplants in my home, and I have some cactuses that are absolutely breathtaking. I had no idea that they could blossom into a flower and then one day wake up and it has just an incredible flower. And that may be what's showing up for you at this time, Pisces, is you are starting to blossom. Maybe love is starting to blossom here. It's like you've created space for this energy to do its thing, to kind of learn the lessons that it's needed to learn, to go back and forth with this conflict here. And where love resides, if the two of you are meant to be together, you will be. And if you've been alone on this journey for quite some time, it looks like you have a counterpart or a match coming in, because the clock here tells me that you've been going through a cycle, and maybe you've needed time in separation here. Perhaps you've needed time out to really get to know yourself on a deeper level, but you have progressed, right? And this is a cycle with that Wheel of Fortune that, is ready to turn a new leaf here. The Wheel of Fortune is a turning point, and you have something painful that you have endured with that devil, and it looks like backstabbing, right? Heartbreak, pain, separation, loss, deception, lies, maybe even a shocking attack where you may be thinking, how could that individual even treat me that way? I thought that they loved me. I thought that they were family. Like, how could that have happened? It's really left an imprint. Whenever this card shows up, I always look at the pomegranate and the butter knife. And it's interesting because you have the butter knife here in your career. Maybe you felt like, you've been cheated in your career in some way with a person. Someone stabbed you in the back. But the butter knife, if you've ever cut a pomegranate with a butter knife, I can contest I have not, because I want a clean sweep through that pomegranate, right? You want to use a sharp blade so you can cut through it, because if you use a butter knife, it's going to be sloppy and messy. It's not going to be a clean cut, and it's going to dig in, and it is going to leave an imprint. And pomegranates stain your hands, right? There's that stain. And so something here has tainted or stained your energetic aura. You've gone through a situation with someone, and I just heard Corey or Christopher. I'm getting a C name here for some of you, a strong C name, either first or last C, maybe even CH. But it feels like this individual, or maybe you have hurt someone or they've hurt you. This is that releasing of shame. It's forgiveness. And that's not always easy to do, but it liberates. And if there has been unhealthy, toxic patterns due to mental health issues, due to addictions, it's not excusing a behavior, but you may be understanding it through like psychology a bit more at this time. Whew. Now, what's the message here from your higher self? What does your higher self want you to know, Pisces? That you are whole. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You're not crazy. You're not unworthy or unlovable. You are whole. You are here to remember your divinity and connect with your highest self. Look yourself in the mirror. Oh my goodness, you guys, you can't make that up. You have the mirror as your archetype. Look yourself in the mirror. Place your hand on your heart and say to yourself, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. This is practicing not only that self-love, but it's remembering, right? It's a remembering that you are whole. Your mantra, I love me. I am whole. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am safe. I want you to say that to yourself right now. Look at the screen here. Look at that mantra. I want you to say that to yourself. Place your hand on your heart chakra and really feel this, embody this energy, because this is you at the core, right? You are whole. Beautiful message here. And lastly, we are going to look at the mirror. So I'm going to find this in the guidebook. One moment. All right, Pisces. The mirror is the reflection, the illusion, the looking glass. We look into mirrors every day without recognizing them as portals into another realm. They can shatter, flatter, distort, reflect, and project an image back to us that we deem to be true. The energy of the mirror is all about self-perception. When the archetype of the mirror appears, we are in the mythic land of Narcissus, who saw himself reflected in the pool and fell in love with his own image. So compelled by his reflection, he could not turn away, a fixation that eventually led to his death. Recognize the power and danger of the mirror. It is a construct, one that may drive a shard between you and your true self. The mirror contains trickster energy. Put the phone down. Stop with the comparisons and let the mirror stand empty for a while. Rest with the one inside. Wow, that's powerful, Pisces. When this is showing up as the light aspect, because we have the sun and the devil. So we're seeing a little bit of shadow and light, which is not a bad thing, right? We can't have one without the other. Witnessing the deeper self. This is pure awareness when it's in the light. When it's in the shadow, it's narcissism, comparison, and harsh edges, right? Think of that butter knife trying to cut through where it just is not a clean sweep. It's icky, it's messy, it hurts, it's painful. Speak to yourself gently and kindly in the mirror. It will feel awkward at first, but it is a sure way to become friends with yourself. For further reflections, read the poem I Am Not I by Juan Jimenez and Yoko Ono's Mirror Piece. All right, so that is what I have for you. It reminds me also, oh goodness, what is that show? There is a show about mirrors. I feel like, is David the name? I'm not quite sure. If you know what I'm talking about, drop it below. But it feels like mirrors is coming through. Maybe some of you are even watching a show or reading a book that has to do with what we've been talking about. Because again, wanderlust, it could be learning through what you are seeing in your outer world, through books or through shows, through your environment. So mirror is coming through here for you. If you resonated with the reading, if you enjoyed it, or if you took even one small nugget of intuitive insight away, then that's beautiful. If you could please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are interested, Pisces, in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.